Welcome to Just Breathe. I am your host, Brittany, and I'm so delighted to have you here with me. Today, I will be bringing you my top 3 favorite ways to practice mindfulness daily. But first, let's talk about what mindfulness is. By definition, mindfulness is a technique where one focuses one's full attention only on the present moment, experiencing thoughts, feelings, and sensations, but not judging them. Easier said than done these days, and even I can admit to that, especially with COVID, Mother Nature having a BF, racial and social injustices. It's a lot going on in the world, so it's easy to feel anxious and out of control. For years, I struggled with anxiety, depression, and irrational fears, all of which accumulated throughout my childhood. And things only increased after my diagnosis of multiple sclerosis when I was 16. My diagnosis also impacted the way that I walk, so I became incredibly insecure about using a walker and how others would perceive me. I suffered from social anxiety, and going out in public places became one of my biggest fears. In the search for peace of mind, I was introduced to people like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, and Louise Hay, and became fully immersed into the community of self-care and wellness. Through studying and listening to their audios, reading their books, doing their guided meditations, and adopting their practices, I was finally able to find some peace of mind in a world of chaos. Today, I'll be sharing my top 3 favorite ways to practice mindfulness. Let's start with number 3, yoga. I absolutely adore yoga. I try to practice it as often as I can. The reason I think yoga is so beneficial is because it allows you to explore the lengths and depths of your own body. Oftentimes, we take this bag of bones and flesh for granted. And when I do yoga, it reminds me of just how strong and resilient my body actually is. On to practice number 2, walking. I don't know about y'all, but going for a walk, even if it's just down to the mailbox, grants me the ultimate peace of mind. Especially in the mornings when the birds are chirping and singing to one another. It's the best way for me to start my day off with clarity. As I walk, I make sure to feel every muscle, bone, and fiber as it moves in my body, starting from my toes all the way up. For me, walking is a guaranteed solution to get me out of my head and into the present moment. Last but not least, breathing. Did you know that by the time you're 50 years old, you would have taken over 400 million breaths? That's almost 20,000 per day. Question: how many of those breaths are mindful and intentional? The beautiful thing about the world that we live in is that the universe is infinite and abundant. It's ever giving, and as humans, I like to think the best way for us to pay our gratitude for being here is to participate in daily breathing exercises. We inhale to receive and exhale to give back, not just in honor of yourself, but in honor of this glorious world that we live in. Join me in a 16-second breathing exercise that I do when I start to feel tension and pressure building in the body. This practice allows me the pause that I need right before I feel the impulse to react rather than respond. Now I'm human, and sometimes I don't always catch myself as quickly as I like, but maybe this is a practice that you guys can use and it'll work for you no matter what. Now, the reason it's called a 16-second breathing exercise is because we're going to be focused on 4 different areas of breath work for 4 seconds each. Those 4 different areas are the inhale, the hold, the exhale, and the gratitude pause. If you'd like, get comfortable, maybe close your eyes, and join me in the 16-second breathing exercise. Inhale through your nose on a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath for another 4 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale through your mouth for another 4. 9, 10, 11, 12. And pause for another 4. 13, 14, 15, 16. developed this practice while I was in the hospital, and I had so much anxiety, so much was happening all the time, whether it was the doctors coming in, nurses coming in, it was just always something back to back, and I never had the time to do my hour-long meditations I would normally do. So I developed the 16-second breathing exercise to bring the tension out of my body and just find a moment of stillness as quickly as I could. I hope these tips and practices are as helpful for you as they are to me. Again, and thank you so much for joining me on Just Breathe. I'm your host, Brittany, and I'm so delighted to have had you here with me. In order to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and definitely comment down below how you practice mindfulness daily. Thank you again for your time and attention. And remember, take care of yourself. You are only human. Love you guys.